Hello and welcome to Stateside here on Politics Social. I am Graham Hughes. Good to have you all in the house tonight. We've got Pete's Music. We've got Scott and Sarah. Hi Sarah, how you doing? We've got Diz in there as well, keeping things steady with a spanner. We've got Martin as well. We've also got Saz in there as well. We've got Asperger's Europe. Hiya. We've got Ghost Pouch. We've got Person Impersonator. I've got Misty Hill in there as well, and also Francis. So hello everyone. Chris C in the chat as well. If you'd like to join our beautiful friends in the chat, all you need to do is hit that nice juicy subscribe button. Oh, there's two of them. There shouldn't be two. There should just be one. There can be only one. I have no idea why two subscribes turned up then. That was a bit weird, wasn't it? Should we try that again? Now it's turned up over there. Don't really know why it's doing that, but oh well, whatever. I'm trying to look why it's coming up twice, and I can't really figure it out. But okay, anyway, so if you want to join the channel, all you need to do or you want to join the chat, I should say, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button. So we're just waiting until our friend Mikey Famine gets here in a moment, I hope. We'll just check if he's got the message. No, he still hasn't seen the link yet. So I'm just gonna pad it out. Let's pad it, baby. Oh yes. And before we've even, before everything is settled, we've got a super chat. Thank you from SG. Thank you, everyone in Spain. Please do your patriotic duty and drink up all the beer, cerveza, before it gets warm. Yes, absolutely, SG. Couldn't agree more. So absolute carnage on the Iberian Peninsula, where the power's gone out for all of Spain, pretty much, all of Portugal, pretty much, and a bit of France as well. The Iberian Peninsula has just gone dark. Crazy times. I've not read what caused it. I'm sure we can find out what caused it, but I don't know. But in the news today, we're going to be talking about 100 years. Oh Jesus, no, don't say that. 100 years of solitude and 100 days of Trump. And we're going to be talking about that with Mikey, and I want to be talking to him about whether they can actually see in America, what's going on yet. Is it actually kicking off? Are there empty shelves? Will there be empty shelves? We don't know. The other big news is the Canadian election, which starts in a few moments in Canada. Actually, no, it's already started. But the first results will come in around midnight our time. But it's around the 2:30 mark that it really all starts. It all starts kicking off. It all starts coming in when we'll find out the what people are voting in Ontario and Quebec, which are massive. They're not the biggest provinces, but they are huge in terms of voter share. The majority of people in Canada live in one of those two provinces. So yeah, as soon as those results, exit polls come in, we'll have a good idea of how the Liberals are doing. So the question is, I said the Liberals are doing, but also, hopefully Peter Polyev and the Polivia Newton-John and the Conservatives are doing very, very badly. John C. trying to deal with some negative thoughts today. Let's be a weapon of mass distraction over here. Let's do something different. Okay, so I was considering actually. I'm gonna have to write to Mikey. We're on now. Where are you? This is what happens when we change them from GMT to BST, possibly. So yeah, one of the things that we're talking about is the Canadian election and whether it is going to make a big difference to how things go in North America. Because if Pierre Polly Pocket, if he gets in, he's going to chummy up to Trump like something rotten. Whereas if Mark Carney gets in, he's very likely to tell Trump where to go. And the weird thing is, Trump seems to respond better to people who tell him to piss off. So what I want to know from you is, do you want to do a show tonight? Not this one, but like from midnight. Do you want to do a show? Whether the Canadian results come in. Is anyone interested? Is anyone going to be watching it? I don't know. You're going to be watching Rachel Gilmore over on Twitch? I don't know. Let me know in the chat if that's something that you'd like to do, because we could definitely do it. I'll probably have to drink a lot more coffee. Hey, Mikey Uguni. What's that? Is Mikey in the chat? Can't see him. Where's Mikey? I hate the ships being rerouted from Seattle to Vancouver. Seattle port is dead to container traffic now. Never mind in 2 weeks. Yeah. SG says yes. There you go. I'll be up at that time. I will watch. Okay, look, well, I'll tell you what. I'll set a goal, right? 10 super chats, all the colours, 30 minutes, and I'll celebrate by actually by staying up, staying up late as results come in. I can't write too many letters, you see, because if I do, it doesn't tell you that you've written too many letters. It just doesn't let you start the goal. Oh, I did. There you go. So there you go. My goal's live. There you go. Give me some money and I'll do it. Give me some peanuts and the monkey will dance. The monkey will dance. No, let's wake up in a different globe, says Eric. Well, you don't have to watch it, mate. Kate Smith is saying I'll be up for that. A pint and a hug. That's from SG over to Chris C. I think everyone could do with a pint and a hug most of the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on, even though Mikey's not here yet. Come on, Mikey. Where are you? Hello, Mikey. So are we just going out? It's only 8 o'clock in the UK. I was like, no, it's not 9 o'clock. We leapt forward. We sprung forward. So it's only taken the apricot asshat 100 days to drive the economy into a ditch. And I know you're asking yourselves, how does a brainless, bloated, fascist scumbag wreck a country faster than he wrecked a couple of casinos that he managed to bankrupt? I don't know. Same vibe as the casinos, isn't it? Lots of gold trim, lots of bankruptcy papers, and it's just like it's like giving a toddler a chainsaw and telling him to go run around the Federal Reserve or something. It's just the maddest thing we could possibly do. It's a great line from the old 1989 animated film Akira, when they said it's a bit like giving a baby a baby, or was it an amoeba? Giving an amoeba a nuclear weapon. Yeah, that seems quite fitting. B32 Travel, thank you very much for the £1 super chat. Cheers. And Philip Crossley, £2 super chat. Thank you very much. Let's go. And Deborah in the chat as well. Thanks for the super chat there, Philip. And Deborah's saying, yeah, vote Mark Carney. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Just going to say I'm sick of the sheer amount of far-right crapula that's all over Meta today. It's flooded. That doesn't surprise me. Meta and Twitter are going to be very much in the pockets of the Heritage Foundation and the Russians who are paying for all the misinformation, as you know they do. Yes, do it, says Sarah Davis. Okay, all right, Sarah, just because you asked. And then SG is there saying, come on, Mikey, we have beer. Yes! That's all good. Person impersonator says, also, many ships are on the wrong side of the ocean. It's going to take time to get supply routes back up. That's if anyone wants to risk selling to the US. That's very true. B32 Travel, another £1 super chat. I feel like I'm selling my services quite cheaply here, but that's fine. Thank you for the super chat. Because we're not going to know. Tetsuo! Says Don Donovan, because he knows what I'm talking about. If I'm probably going to do, we'll probably do midnight. We'll probably start at midnight and we'll go through until maybe like 3 o'clock in the morning. Because like I say, at 1:30 we should be getting the info from the exit polls from the big states, the big populous states. But do you know who's just arrived in the chat? Not in the chat, in the Zoom. It's Mikey Famine. Hey Mikey, how you doing? He can hear me. Okay, so yes, I'm going to bring you on. You're on. Hello, Mikey Famine on the Bid Network. How you doing, mate?
What's up, man? I am dealing over here.
Yeah?
I got a lot of tech. I'm trying to transfer us off of Skype, and it has been, me and Tim have been yelling at the internet at large for 20 minutes. And then my wife came home, and then I'm like, did I ever hear back from Graham?
Well, I thought you might have forgotten about me. Anyway, Strange English Lyricist has dropped £2 in the Super Chat Fund. Trump election pigeon noises. That's from Strange English lyricist. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for the super chat. And sadly, we're waiting on the way to do the same here. Sarah Davis is saying, hi, Mikey. And Russell Cannon says, hi. Mikey! I think someone just pushed Russell off a cliff. That sounds awful. Hope you're all right. Again. I hope you got your parachute, your big Union Jack parachute.
Not Russell. Like this. Not like this.
Kieran Crossan, thank you very much for the £2 for the £5 super chat. That's amazing. Make it worth your while. Oh, thank you very much, Kieran. I'm probably going to do a show tonight, Mikey, covering the election, the Canadian election.
I procured an invite to my Canadian friend stream, so I will be over there. Like, so what does that mean? Who is that? Is that good or bad?
So is Ollie doing a stream?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But this is they're called Debate Hub. Right. Landon, Curtinol, Cheshire Cat, Manya.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And friends. So I'll be bothering them. Be like, so what? Can you explain everything? Thanks. Please, thanks.
So we've also just got a super chat from £2. You've set yourself up on this one. I said that if I got 10 super chats, that I'll do a show tonight till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, you're doomed.
So I'm doomed now on the Canadian election.
Womp, womp.
Yeah.
That's worth $2. Like, honestly, make Graham stay up all night.
Well, I mean, the time we're probably going to find out what's going down is going to be at around 2:30. So that's the critical time. 2:30 BST. That's 1:30 GMT. We're going to see what the map's going to look like. Well, a good chunk of it, because even though the polls won't have closed over in Vancouver on the East Coast yet, obviously those big provinces of Canada, Ontario and Quebec, they would have returned. They wouldn't count all the votes. There'll be an exit poll, and we'll have some idea of what it's going to look like. So at the moment, we've got 2 hours and 45 minutes to wait for the first exit polls, which will come out of Newfoundland, I think. I might be wrong. I think they're the first.
PEI is probably first.
Yeah. Where's it probably first?
PEI, Prince Edward Island.
Ooh, yeah, that's a point.
That's where Ollie's from. They're like out in the Atlantic. Like they're not even on the mainland.
Wow. That's pretty cool though, isn't it? I think it's cool.
They're out in the middle of nowhere.
We've got Kieran in the chat. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat, Kieran. And get Mikey's opinion on kneecap at Coachella. I hope I spelt it right. And then Chris C, here's my donation towards the Graham Fund. Thank you very much, Chris. We have made the target. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. So did you hear about what kneecap did at Coachella?
I did.
And how do you feel about it? Speak your brains.
It's still America for now.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah. Also, I mean, one of the things that's come out that they said something in a earlier gig about unaliving Tory MPs, which has been picked up by the media, who are trying to now silence kneecap. And the thing is, right, if you're coming at this from a marketing point of view, this is incredible marketing, because now everyone's heard of this Irish punk rap band called Kneecap. Like, no one had heard of them before, but now they have. So, well done there, I guess, for getting your words out. But also,
you showed them.
Yeah, but it's a bit like when you get like a punk rock band from Ireland called Kneecap, after the practice of kneecapping people that was prevalent in Northern Ireland in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. What do you expect? What were the organisers of Coachella expecting them to do?
I mean, it's everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everyone who is of a marginalized community has to sit there and stomach all of this bullshit from everybody else all the time. Oh no, someone threw a little dirt on your clean white boating shoes. Deal with it. This is where we live. Deal with it. We say shit. We'll say anything to anybody at any time. And just because the I almost said a prison industrial complex. Just because the war machine has bombs to sell doesn't mean the rest of us have to be quiet. We can say whatever we want. You don't like it, pack up your factory and move it somewhere else where the people will be quiet. But if you're going to build your stuff over here, people are going to say something about it.
Yeah, yeah.
What is going on with my YouTube right now?
I don't know, lad. Right, while you're sorting out your YouTube, I'm going to say thank you, big thank you to SG for the £20 super chat. That's incredibly generous. Thank you. Woohoo, Graham. Elbows up. And then we've got the Gin Stitcher there with £5. Do it. Give me a real version of what happens. We'll watch in the morning when I'm supposed to be working. Okay, fair enough. And then B32 Traveller saying, starting to feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. I was just joking. It's more than enough. Thank you. And Deborah, $5 Canadian, quite rightly, is pointing out they officially do exit polls in Canada. I'll be cautious with my claim, with any claiming otherwise. Yeah, I get that. I know they don't do official exit polls, but there's ways and means of finding out what the temperature is out there in Canada, which is usually quite cold, but sometimes it can be boiling.
I mean, it's not. Canada, I'm sick of them acting like they're so filled with ice. It is filled with ice.
It is.
But no one lives there.
A few acres of snow.
They all live right up next to the American border because it's temperate. And if you get too far up north, there's bears, which I have spoken about previously on this show. And no one wants to live up there with bears. So they live a little bit closer to,
Well, Timothy Treadwell did, but then the bears ate him. I was just looking at the map, and Prince Edward Island's actually above Halifax. It's to the north of Halifax, so I don't think they'll be the first. I think it will be Newfoundland and Labrador, particularly St. John's, which is right on the eastern coast of the island, off the coast of the Newfoundland Island. Have you been to Newfoundland?
No.
It's a new fun land.
The Newfies.
I've been there. I went to a place called Placentia. I'm probably saying that wrong. I think it's Placentia. There was a place called Argentia, which is where our ship came in. And there used to be a town there in the 1940s. Like there was an entire US military base there. And they had a town hall, and they had churches, and they had a cinema. And then after the war, they discovered that asbestos kills people, and they shouldn't have made the whole town out of asbestos. So they had to demolish it all. And it's all like now a no-go site in case you breathe in the asbestos dust.
It's weird. Like this kind of, that point kind of reflects on the housing market. Like a lot of people want, hey, let's get rid of the regulations, da 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 da. Okay, so when they say we're going to build all this new housing, if you remove all of the regulations, guess what those old houses are filled with? Dangerous asbestos and other materials that when they break apart, they make tiny little fractures that you will breathe in, and it will puncture your lungs like asbestos. That's why it's illegal. That's why you have to have trained, highly paid experts to come do a demolition on a house.
Yeah.
Because you have to get that shit out of there first before they just wrecking ball it and put it all up into the air, and then the whole neighborhood is wheezing for ever. Because that shit doesn't come back. Like that's forever. That's a forever thing inside you, and they don't know how to get it out of you yet.
Yeah.
So maybe measure twice, cut once when it comes to regulations. Speaking of asbestos,
I think if we're going to talk about safety regulations in America, they've kind of gone out the window, haven't they? In the last.
That's what they're trying to do. We'll just make so much money. We'll make so much money. It's like, why would you listen to your boss saying, "Hey, you don't need a helmet"? Yo, he's paying for a helmet. What are you talking about? Like I need 2 helmets because this one might get sweaty and I need a swap. And then I can put that one in the cooler and then do the switcheroo. Yeah, but no. I don't know why anyone would want their boss to have the easiest time possible. Maybe it's just like that eternal lapdog, like the opposite of a pick-me.
Yeah.
Or like the chauvinistic, misogynistic version of a pick-me. It's just like, I am so subservient to capitalism. Look, I'll even work for less money. I'll even work with less safety precautions and no guarantees on my health care. I'll just risk it all. I love my boss so much.
Talking of healthcare, John Oliver did an absolute takedown of RFK Jr. last night. putting it all together, what he's doing, and that man is going to have so much blood on his hands. He's going to be the biggest killer of Americans since World War II.
I think largely the states can ignore a lot of that stuff.
Not when he's taking federal funding away. They're taking funding away from research from universities, and there's ongoing research that's been done for years and years and years. So it's not like it's just ruining the research that's going to be done from now on. It's ruining the research that they've been looking at over the years. It's stuff to do with not just whether drugs are effective, but whether they're safe, whether, you know, they cause long-term damage, foods, because he's now in charge of the FDA. They're getting rid of all these different departments and making them all one department that he is running. And the guy's a fucking nutter. Like, he's an absolute lunatic.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah. Insane in the membrane. Dog 4x4, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. It's very kind of you. Before we go to a gay bar, we should allow North Sentinel Island to get its Electric Six program up and running. Give them a chance to censored. Thank you very much, Dog 4x4, for that. 4x4 that. That's very kind of you. I like the Electric Six references. But yeah, Canada, if it votes for Pierre Polly Pocket, how is that going to change things with Trump? Because he tweeted today that Canada should vote to become the 51st state, which sounds like a vote for the Conservatives for me.
Yeah, how's that going for them? They're pulling all the liquor off the shelves. If you want to test somebody's resolve, their creature comforts, how eager are they to give that up to prove a point?
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell told Trump, "Hey man, you got to calm down." That's how serious the Canadians are.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't even have to be left people. They ain't gonna be nobody's bitch. They're not gonna be Trump's little poodles, you know, ready to bark and yip every time he rings a bell. They're not doing that. They'd rather fight. They'd rather fight block by block, city by city, rather than listen to him. So.
Oh, well, that's good. Now, how are things going in America? Because we're having these conversations about the fact that it's going to take a little while for the ripple effect, for the shortages to start. Do you think there's going to be shortages? Do you think there's going to be empty shelves in the supermarkets? Do you think it's going to be that bad? Or do you think there's enough stockpile from the last time there was a disaster?
Speaking of shortages, there's no shortage of super chats over here on the Bin Podcast Network's Dead City Jen. Thank you, Jen. $1.99 super chat. I can finally donate to the Bin Bros. Appreciate you. There will be. And that's why Walmart and Target and a couple of other like CEOs were like, yo, dude, you got to chill on these tariffs things, because we're like 2 weeks from empty shelves, shortages, price increases, all that stuff. This is what I was saying before. He is doing things that don't accomplish his goal. He's only doing things that he thinks of. And they're like his random thoughts and his goals are not aligned. And his cabinet won't help him do it. The markets are trying to guide him, right? They're giving him every single indication that he needs to do a complete 180 and then some to help fix the damage that is already done.
Yeah.
He's not listening. So what I predict we're going to see is that a lot of these companies are going to try to preserve themselves. They're going to try to eat some of the costs. They're going to try to do something, but there's no way around it. The math is just the math. He has fucked everyone. He like straight up.
No,
like it's just
true.
like
that's not true. Sorry, I've got to kick back that. How has he fucked Vladimir Putin?
I'm talking about people, not dogs. So
he's fucked everyone except for Vladimir Putin. He's the only one person in the world that he hasn't had a go at.
Well, that's his bae. That's his best friend. That's why he looks out for him.
Jesus.
Loyalty. You know what I mean? Loyalty. This is how he shows loyalty to the American people, by imposing 100 and something percent tax
Yep.
on shit that we need in our day-to-day life. And then that's
Yep.
going to bring in revenue to fix the deficit and also Tren de Aragua. That's why I'm doing this. Like, it's fractured. It is nonsensical and crazy. Like, the fact that he has all of these tariffs on China when he says he's at war because of the invasion with Venezuela,
Yeah.
that doesn't jive. So a lot of companies are, and I think a toy store, just a toy company, I missed the name on it. They're all suing. These tariffs are illegal.
Right.
You're bankrupting us for nothing. And on top of it, you don't even have the infrastructure set up to take the money.
Well,
There's
that's
no
one of
one
the
even there to
things,
collect
isn't
it.
it? Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So these people are like, I need to be compliant with the law. I can't even comply because you don't even have people there I mean, the tariff books are these tomes, deep, big, huge things that people have spend their whole career trying to figure out one sector of this thing and become an expert in that sector.
Yeah.
All those people are gone. All the books are up in the air. The pages are all on the floor. And he's just like, I have this under control. And everyone with a brain is saying, we're going to go hungry. So, and unfortunately, this is the squeeze to get the juice. Like, if we want him gone, this is the pain, right? This is the pain that I have prescribed as soon as the election was over. People have to feel that, and then he's out of there. It's curtains. And then we're going to see what's what, because I'm telling you, as soon as the grocery stores start getting hit, which they predicted is only a 2-3 weeks out, unless he changes course. Here come Marie Antoinette.
Are you feeling it on the ground at the moment? Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you just know it's coming, or are you already seeing shortages of certain things that would have normally been in the shops? Or...
Well, I'm not. I stopped doing a lot of my in-person shopping because I got sick of everybody following me around and accusing me of things. So I just do most of the pickup and stuff like that.
Oh shit, man! Is that because you're black?
Yeah. They automatically assume I'm stealing shit.
Is that something that you've had all your life, or has that just become worse when Trump's in charge?
I wasn't aware of it when I wasn't aware of it when I was younger, but I noticed it almost immediately.
Fucking hell.
I'm not making and everyone's like, oh, he's just always exaggerating. I was like, I can tell, I can bring up
exaggerating. I think,
but I can bring up the receipts from I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year that I go out in public. And I go shopping and I do something, and then it's nonsense. It's trash, and I have to call corporate, and there's always an issue.
There's 2 countries that I've been to where I've been shocked by the casual racism, and one of them is the US, and the other one's Australia.
I'm talking about
most other places. People are a little bit embarrassed about being racist. They're kind of like, I'm not a racist, but, and then they'll say something racist. But America, people are kind of proud about it. They're proud to just be horrible.
Because when I got the speaker, I have subwoofers in my truck. I have 2 12s. They're very, very good. They make music very fun.
That would annoy me if you went past and I was.
But it wouldn't annoy you because outside of my car, you can barely hear it.
Really? I think a lot of people think that, but then
because they're not audiophile nerds. I go for my subwoofers only do 40 hertz and below.
Okay.
So inside the car, you can feel the pressure of everything going on, but outside the car, I mean, somebody's lawnmower is overpowering those very, very long, low sound waves. I digress.
Okay.
But I went to Best Buy because I needed a cable to run from the speaker to the back of the radio.
Yeah. And
then you got to fish it all underneath the trim and stuff it's a pain in the ass. It takes hours, but I wanted it done right. But I needed that cord. A loss prevention guy, I shit you not, in plain clothes, obviously. I'm hitting the button for service over at the little, the wall of head units, for the radios and stuff like that. And we're just, me and my buddy are waiting there. We're waiting there 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then a guy comes out, is like, yeah, I got 2 more in front of you. I'm like, okay. So then we're just like looking at all the different things. You know how you just get bored and you start wandering?
Yeah.
Homie comes over and says, legit chin stroke. In the section right next to me.
Yeah.
And then I go over there to look at like after like what he was looking at. Garmin GPSs. You're looking for a Garmin GPS in 2020? You're using a Garmin No, you use your phone, you moron. This is like the fact that they even have these in the store is crazy. But the fact that you thought that I didn't think you were looking at me because you were looking for, I just need a wayfinder device that I can just, have annoying and fucking beeping all the time in my car. It's bullshit. And so I tell my buddy Ryan, and I'm like, Ryan, watch this. He's going to go to the edge of the thing. He's going to go to the edge of the aisle and he's going to turn back before he turns the corner. And doot, doot. I was like, hi. He's like, oh. I was like, yeah, that's every day. That's everywhere.
Oh,
all the time.
Man.
That's life.
That's fucking shit. That is fucking shit.
Life is shit. Life is shit.
Mr. TSK27 in the chat is saying we are a mixed race couple. Worst place is Hungary. Doesn't surprise me, actually, with Orban in charge. And oddly, Spain and Germany. Austria, not so bad, but we found slightly dated attitudes. Yeah, it's always a shock, especially if it's a young person. Whenever you meet a young bigot, you're kind of like, what? Really? Did you just say that? Someone who's racist or homophobic or misogynist or transphobe. It's generally someone over the age of 50. And I want to stress this more than ever. I'm not saying that everyone over the age of 50 is a massive racist. Okay? Can I just make that very, 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 very clear to everyone? In fact, I'm going to put up my not all boomers sign. Look, not all boomers. Not all boomers. Not all boomers.
I'm just gonna say it is all boomers until they prove their innocence. Boomers, unfortunately, are guilty until proven innocent, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, fair enough. Your mileage may differ.
No, you're gonna have to prove you're innocent to me. I ain't buying it. Nope. Yeah. Nope.
Chris,
give me 2 seconds. I left my coffee on the counter. I'm so embarrassed.
All right. I'll read some messages while you're doing that. Chris C is saying, I'm generally frightened. It's generally frightening that Reform are about to make serious gains on Thursday and Starmer couldn't be bothered to visit Runcorn in the run-up to the by-election. I don't know why he didn't visit Runcorn. He might have done more harm than good. Runcorn and Helsby, which is up for grabs, is quite a safe Labour seat. I will be surprised if Refuck get it. And don't forget, this is just local elections, and it doesn't really reflect on the national picture, because for years, the Lib Dems would have thousands of councillors and like 3 MPs. And if you look at how many councillors the Greens have got at the moment, they've got 4 MPs, and yet they've got something like 800 councillors. So don't worry about it too much. A lot of the 2019 intake are up for grabs, getting re-elected. It's a 5-year term. And a lot of them were Tories. So these votes are going from Tories to Refuck. They're not going from the Labour necessarily. Very few going from Lib Dems, very few going from the Greens. And hopefully we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the results come out like on Friday morning. But I'm just hoping that whatever happens, you're gonna have that braying dickhead Nigel Farage go, just proves that we're great. Even if he just gets one councillor put in. But I do think that Angela Loathsome is probably going to win in Lincolnshire, the mayoral contest, which really sucks. If you want to see who to vote for in these elections to stop Refuck, and I don't think they recommend voting Tory, so don't worry about that getting recommended. But if you go to stopreformuk.com, and if I've just put that into the chat, if you just click on there, put in your postcode, and it'll tell you who the best person to vote is. They've got a recommendation for all the mayors as well. I think for the mayors, like 5 mayors, and 2 of them Labour, 2 of them are Lib Dem, and 1 of them's Green. The recommendation. So it's very much the people who are running Stop the stop refuck and stop the Tories. They're not Labour. They're not Labour members. They're not screaming at everyone to vote Labour. And I think they feel the same. A lot of us do at the moment, and we feel quite let down for quite a few things. But I think that the straw that broke the camel's back for Phil Morehouse, me, other people, is the fact that they turn their back on the trans community in such a shitty way, in a way that goes against what's happening in all other progressive countries. Like, other countries are going more progressive towards trans people and allowing more self-identification, whereas the other places like Hungary and the United States of America are going in the other direction. I don't want to follow them. I don't want to follow them into a world where, you know, everyone gets their own toilet depending on how they look or how they behave.
Stop the presses. Mrs. Famine has entered the chat.
Ooh, hello, Mrs. Famine. How you doing?
Mrs. Famine says he's not exaggerating. It's every single time we are at a store, security happens to be nearby. I could rob the whole place and no one would notice. They'd be busy watching him. Actually, I gotta go. We're going to Best Buy.
That sounds like a good plan, actually. I'm sure someone's probably done that in a film or a TV show where
it's happened at stores I work. It's happened at stores I've worked at.
Yeah.
Where there's a couple of black guys, da 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 da, and then the whole store gets on, you know, like the little radio, and then the walkie-talkies, and they're all talking to each other, and they're, I'm watching this way, I'm watching that way. And I shit you not, everybody's watching the northeast corner of the store, and then the southwest corner of the store gets hit by a couple of fucking tweakers who are going after cold medicine, and they empty the entire shelf, and then they walk out the door, and no one notices until half an hour after they realize that these people were just shopping, and they're fine. Oh, and Ollie knows them. Well, me. I go by Ollie. And everything's fine, and it's too late then. Your stuff's gone.
Yeah.
The white people stole your stuff because you were hyper fixated on policing the black folk who were buying vegetables. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, dude's got all the cough medicine in the world to make meth with. Thanks.
Well, it's like most of the crime is committed by white people. There's more white people, of course, so that's why most of the crime is committed by white people. I mean, you know, it's self-evident. Ruth, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. It's very kind of you. This waspy boomer has her last day of work tomorrow. Way! Yay! That's really cool. So you get a thank you. You're the best. There you go. Just come up on the screen. That's quite cool. John C, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. US shortages followed by an unprotected infrastructure attack from a hostile actor or zoonotic swine flu epidemic. US now sailing too close to the wind, potentially catastrophic. It's not swine flu, it's bird flu.
It's jumping from animal to animal now.
Yeah.
Like some cows have died humans, and then some...
there's nothing there. There's nothing in place now because they've gutted everything.
We'll just probably, you know, just like do like an inhaler or you know, put this herb under your pillow at night.
Yeah.
Drink this liquid metal. Some sort of alchemy. That'll be his plan. Yeah. Did you read earlier on your show? Did you read Trump's social media post?
To Canada?
Mm-hmm.
I referred to it. I didn't read it out loud. Have you got it? Do you want to read it?
Yeah, you want to hear it?
Okay.
All right. Oh, Lord. He types like an idiot. There's so many capitalizations already. I can already see him. All right. This from the 47th dickhead. Good luck to the great, capital great, people of Canada. Elect the man who has the strength and wisdom to cut your taxes in half, increase your military power for free to the highest level in the world. Have your car, steel, aluminum, lumber, energy, and all businesses. These are all separated by commas, by the way.
Yeah.
Quadruple, all cap, in size, with zero tariffs or taxes, also capitalized, comma. If Canada becomes the cherished 51st state of the United States of America, no more artificially drawn line from many years ago. Look how beautiful this landmass would be. Free access with no border. All positives with no negatives. It was meant to be. America can no longer subsidize Canada with hundreds of. Oh, Darren, super chat. All positive, no negative. It was meant to be. America can no longer subsidize Canada with the hundreds of billions of dollars a year that we have been spending in the past. It makes no sense unless Canada is a state! Exclamation point.
Sorry.
Unbelievable. Darren, thank you so much for the £20 super chat. First donation to the Bin Podcast. Congrats on getting monetized, Mikey and everyone else. Thank you.
Great stuff. I'm getting some shit from Rachel from accounting who's saying that I lack strength of convictions because I might vote Labour in this local election later this week, or might vote Lib Dems, or might vote the Greens. I don't know. It hasn't come up on the Stop Reform UK website for my district yet, which one to vote for. But you talk about lacking convictions. I did leave my tropical paradise island in Panama to come back to the UK to stand as an independent MP against my Labour candidate, who I helped get put in to position as an MP in West Derby, Liverpool. But, convictions, what are they about?
You don't know.
No. I've also stood as a Lib Dem in the past as well. Yeah, convictions. I'm not wedded to one political party or another. I don't care. As long as the fascists stay out, that's my conviction. And I will do whatever it takes to keep those fascists out. And it's all very well for people to go, oh, well, I'm just going to not vote. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it makes no difference whatsoever. So I'm doing what I can. And obviously I wasn't born with a silver spoon up my arse, unlike some people I could mention, Mikey, on the internet, who seem to have a lot, not you, but have a lot of
that's my spoon.
Time on their hands to pontificate about why we should all vote refuck or something. It must have been as if they're being paid to do so. Joe, a lad came around the other day delivering leaflets to refuck, and I asked him if he was getting paid, and he said, yeah. Do you get paid if you help out the Democrats in America to do whatever they do? Do you get paid? No, you don't. It's all volunteers. Don't know where all the money goes. Where did the $100 million that Kamala Harris raised, where did it go?
No, you mean $2.3 billion.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what numbers you're talking about. 2.3 billion.
I can't count that high, Mikey.
Like, people opened up their checkbook to the DNC and to do whatever they could to stop all of this nonsense from happening. And guess who pocketed it? The same people who are bending the knee to Trump right now. All of these television corporations, these media groups, all the people who sold stage time and built all those rallies and stuff like that. It's gone. Is there any money to get new progressives into the DNC? No, they need to fundraise their own money. When we just had $2.3 billion in the war chest, in the coffers, we had it. They gave it all away.
Yeah.
And now they want more money in a campaign that was only 100-something days.
I had to block their emails because they'd signed up for some stupid reason. Not like I can probably fund them because they live in Britain, but whatever. And they were just always asking for money. But Labour do the same thing. If you remember Labour, they're always like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do the other? And I'm like, okay, can you give me something back? I feel like, okay, thank you very much to SG for the £2 super chat. Trump has convictions. 34 of them. I like what you've done there. But no, I don't, I feel like we're giving people something back when we're doing these shows, when we do these live streams, all this kind of stuff. I feel like, what?
Just in, we have breaking news. U.S. Navy loses $60 million jet at sea after it fell overboard from an aircraft carrier.
Oh, shit.
Pete Hegseth, everybody. Pete Hegseth. Clap it up, y'all.
Oh my God! I saw news today. I completely missed. This completely passed me by. Pete Hegseth had a makeup booth.
Yeah.
Constructed in the Pentagon, in the Pentagon building. He needed a room for his makeup to put his makeup on. I thought when I saw that, I thought that's got to be the Onion. That's got to be a piss take.
50 grand.
How much?
50 grand.
On a makeup room.
On a room that was already a room. He needed 50 grand of what? Chairs and a wash your hair bowl, a sink. 50 grand.
What's the average wage in America for the year?
For the salary? Like a 60. So
that's almost what the average American gets a year.
A salary for that one room.
Yeah.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah. I was just going to mention, me and Mikey and others who do these shows get super chats. I feel like we're giving something back. I feel like this is a fair trade. Like, we give you our time and our expertise. And,
I demand $50,000 in one super chat so that I can set up a room I can do my makeup.
So put my makeup on, bit of lippy. But yeah, I mean, I've done
powder room.
The Democrats and over here in Labour, they're asking for money, but they're not doing anything. They're not offering it. They're not like.
Money's not what they need.
Why don't they do like weekly things where they say, come and get involved. There's going to be an event near you. Come along. It's it's £5 to get in. There's going to be a band on. There's going to be this. You can ask your MP questions. Something. Just give me something to say. Okay, well that's a fair trade. At the moment, I feel like if I gave Labour a $5, I'd piss up the wall on some fucking anti-trans bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like.
Do you remember Grumpy Cat?
No.
Little, it's like a Persian or something like that, but he had like a very
like a meme.
Yeah, the little Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, Grumpy Cat meme. Yeah, I know that.
Everybody on Earth has seen Grumpy Cat.
Yeah.
Did Grumpy Cat need any money?
No.
So why the hell do I need to give these adults who can make a YouTube channel, who have access to social media, who have the ability to get in front of the news cameras, who have all of the things, what exactly do you need the money for? And the money is always needed for mailers, for ad spots, and for all that stuff. You don't have to do that. So why do I have to give you money? Is it to pay people?
Yeah.
What is it for?
Yeah.
But it's always the same answer, is that we need to raise funds. And then as soon as you start getting into the nitty gritty, you get labeled a socialist or, you know what I'm saying? Or some weirdo fringe progressive. And then they want to boot you out of the democratic institution because you have too many questions.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember at church when I asked too many questions and then like they just stopped telling me when the cookouts were. Like, I get it. Like, you don't want the progressives to be there because you don't want to be accountable. That's fine.
But
you don't have to be accountable.
I think,
but you're also not going to get any money.
I think Grumpy Cat's a bit of a bad thing to compare us against, though, because I can't turn up at my neighbour's back door and look really cute and they'll let me in and give me food. They'll probably try and I don't live in America, so they won't shoot me, but they'll probably call the police.
We got a super chat from Dark 4x4. 5 English pounds. Thank you so much. I have departed Graham due to his comments about men wearing makeup. LOL. Good. Never go back. Stay here forever. We love you here.
I wasn't talking about men wearing makeup. I'm talking about bloody Pete Hegseth. Do you know the only reason he needs makeup? It's not to dress himself up. It's not to go out for a party. It's not to be like
for Fox News.
It's so he doesn't look so drunk because the man he's sozzled all the time.
He needs a special studio set up in the Pentagon so that he can do his Fox News hits. He's sick of looking like trash on a laptop. He needs cameras with booms. We're gonna have a grip. Get a grip in here. Someone to pull the cord behind the Steadicam guy. Virtual effects. He needs this.
Yeah.
But mind you, we are in a state of lean. We're all pulling the belt one notch tighter because we're gonna make it through this and we're gonna pay off all of this crippling debt that's sitting on the country. But after this 50 grand, we do need to get these 8K cameras in here. I need a slow-mo camera like the slow-mo guys. Like I can't even think of how much stuff you would need. Like, can you imagine, Graham, if I gave you $50,000 or 50,000 pounds to work on a studio room?
Yeah.
After 20 grand, what the hell else are you buying, dude? That's the whole. Of it.
I've got a HD camera. I've got a couple of computer monitors. I've got a green screen that I can just set up behind me if I want to. I don't need. I don't.
But I'm saying though, like for 50 grand,
I can do like.
But for 50 grand, what would you even buy?
I don't know.
Maybe like the in-ear stuff. I mean, those are only
really,
$2 grand.
Really good camera. That's not going to be 50 grand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you bought the nicest of everything that you would need for that area, 10 grand. Like, what are we talking about? Maybe it's the tariff pricing or something. I don't know. Or maybe he just needs to like get a couple of drinks before he goes to the store and gets it. So 50 grand would be good.
I don't think these people understand money. I really don't. I think they live in cloud fucking cuckoo land, and they just pull a figure out their arse, and they can just, because they can charge the taxpayer, and most of the taxpayers in America are like, yeah, that's fine. You can spend my money. This is why
the DOD never passes a fucking audit.
Yeah.
This is exactly why, because they just aggregate 50 grand for something. Who approved this?
Yeah.
Who gets to be the discretionary, voice in all of it? No one. Like, that's the point. The point is to just be as wasteful and as terrible as possible. So the fact that they brought up Elon Musk to save money. Oh, by the way, the numbers are out. Trump has spent more money than Doge has, quote unquote, saved. So he
spent more money golfing than they've saved.
He has saved this year's budget. No, not even budget. He has saved this year's spending.
Yeah.
Which doesn't even talk about the huge Tesla contract that he just got for the armored Cybertrucks.
B32 Travel is, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. That's very kind of you. It's probably a safe room. He will need it. I'm talking about his makeup room. It's a safe room. That's how you spend 50 grand on it. I'm just trying to think, if you're just broadcasting, what do you need? A laptop and a camera, a decent camera. Maybe you just get like a top of the range, like Harry Red fucking thing that costs a fortune. I don't know.
Why don't you just get an office off campus?
Well, the Pentagon's the biggest building in the world, isn't it? So it might take a while.
Yeah, but we don't really want extra wires at the Pentagon. Like the private line, the internet line, the dirty line that he wanted that just had regular. They call it a dirty line because it's regular internet. He wanted a regular internet line in his office. So they put one in there. That's why everyone's been freaking the fuck out. Because that place is like off grid. Yeah. Like it's a big building with all this, but you can't just go on YouTube from any computer on there. It's all encrypted and backdoored and all that stuff. Like, it's locked down. It's separate. It's sequestered for obvious reasons. Well, he was sick of all the bullshit and the go around and all those extras precautions. Look, I'm here to make us all warriors again. I ain't got time to be hiding my secrets. I'm a fighter. I'm gonna just put my secrets out there on the internet.
The Pentagon, I heard it's got like twice the number of toilets that it needs. Because when it was built with segregation in mind. So you're never short of a toilet in the fucking Pentagon. And when the president at the time, which I think was Truman maybe, found out that it was segregated, he's like, fuck this, why are you making it segregated? And so it never actually was segregated, but that's why it's like, there's never a queue for the ladies, let's put it that way. But yeah, different time. But then is it that different from what's happening right now? An obsession with toilets in this country seems to come over all of us for some reason. SG,
it's when you don't have any business, you just like to play in other people's business.
You have to fuck things up for other people. I think you're right. I think most of the cruelty that is foisted on the world is
they got nothing going on.
It's just out of boredom. It's like a
no
child
one cares.
Tormenting an insect, isn't it?
No one cares about them. No one's looking for them. No one wants to talk to them. No one wants to go on a date with them. No one agrees with. They just get bitter.
Yeah.
Well, why does no one like me? Because you're an idiot and you're bad on the inside.
SG, thank you very much. You're beautiful on the outside and the inside. SG, thank you very much. A US official said that the initial reports from the scene indicate that the USS Truman had made a hard turn to evade Houthi fire, which contributed to the fighter jet falling overboard. I just actually read that on the CNN site a moment ago. So yeah, it probably wasn't Hegseth's fault, but should we just blame him anyway, Mikey? Should we just blame him anyway?
No, it is his fault. It is his fault.
It's all his fault.
He's in charge. It's always his fault. He doesn't get to not own this. Hegseth, why didn't you tie that shit down?
Yeah. Hegseth, sort that shit out.
Hegseth, you didn't put no fucking chalk blocks underneath the fucking wheel so it couldn't move? What are you, stupid? We fucking knew? All right, guy.
Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £5. Have you seen Louis Rossman's video on why tariffs screw small US companies and people won't buy US because of the costs. I think that's the one you're talking about where they actually had. There's a mosquito in this room, and it's a silent one, which means that it's one of the ones that spread malaria. Not that we have malaria in this country, but it could be. This was about how they did a simple A/B test where they had the Chinese product and then they had the American product, exactly the same thing, but made in America, and just doubled the cost of it. And literally nobody bought the American product because it was twice the cost. So none of these American patriots, Trump voters, Republicans, none of them voted with their wallets and said, yes, I will pay twice the amount for this same commodity as long as it's built in the US of A.
One of the hosts from Breaking Points hit his breaking point. He's like, I'm sick of supporting this shit. Because, you know, like he's like a young conservative or whatever, and he's supposed to be giving some other there we go. I was like, why am I looking up so freaking high? There we go.
I don't know.
I was editing, it's easier. But he's like, at first it was the deportations, and then it was the tariffs, and then it was people are running out of steam trying to defend the indefensible. Yeah. And now it's starting to look like, oh, this isn't the leader of the Republican Party just having disagreements with people. This is a dictator. It's like, yes, yes, yes. We were trying to say that from jump, but you were like, butter emails. Like, no.
The tariffs would be beautiful.
Republicans, we're ready to debate with Republicans. But at this point, it's resist time. This guy's not a politician. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He has RFK in charge of health.
Yeah.
The dude from Fox News on the Weekend is in charge of all the F-18s.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah.
He's locking up judges.
And also deporting 4-year-old children with cancer.
I'm about to deport one 7-year-old puppy.
Oh, yeah?
To my foot. You're gonna get deported to Footland.
I'm gonna
your ass.
Deport this. The dog. Oh, mosquito. God, die, mosquito. Got it. Oh, look at that.
Jeez, big one.
Oh, fucker. Can you see that? No, you can't really see that. No, I'm not gonna eat it. Bye-bye, mosquito. Anyway, what are you doing today, God? I'm just creating a flying hypodermic needle. Why would you do that, God? Why would you invent a flying hypodermic needle? I don't know. I'm bored. I need something to get this new malaria stuff and dengue fever and yellow fever and Japanese encephalitis and elephantitis. I've made all these new diseases and I've got no way of transmitting them from one human to the other. So I'm going to make a flying hypodermic needle. Okay, could you at least make it buzz so people can hear it when it's coming so they can know that there's something in the room that might kill them? No. What I'm going to do is, the ones that buzz can't kill you, but the ones that don't buzz and are completely silent, they're the ones that can kill you. Oh, thanks, God. Sorry. Mikey's just
I never trust... No, I'm yelling at the dog who is barking at probably a rabbit as loud as he can, as if that will make the rabbit keel over and die. Hey... Dickhead, shut the fuck up. We're live. Thank you.
Boredom. Boredom gave us mosquitoes. That's what gave us mosquitoes, Mikey.
And also, who puts the fun pipe right next to the sewer pipe?
Well, yeah, exactly.
The Truman has repeatedly been targeted in attacks by the Iran-backed Houthis. It says here on CNN Politics in Yemen. It made headlines in February when it collided with a merchant ship near Egypt. No injuries were reported. Another F-18 from the Truman was also mistakenly fired upon and shot down by the USS Gettysburg in the Red Sea in December. Both pilots ejected safely. This isn't looking real competent, guys. Because these are just, Somali pirates of a different name. They're just ragtag, whatever to call, and that's why I don't have to be.
The Houthis I don't have to be. Funded,
I don't have to hide my information. There's no way any of this can get out. This is not good. But again, this is the same administration. They are acting. They are the culture of not being good at your job and not getting any bad consequences for it has spread.
Yes.
And look, he's like, oh, that Pete. Yep, I just tell him you just not
Shit
so much
fights.
on the signal, huh? Maybe don't use signal next time, huh? Like he just thought the problem was that he got caught. He didn't think that it was a problem that all of our military shit could just get hacked at any moment. That's not the issue. And Hexeth is one of those guys who like charges his phone from his computer or some shit, you know what I mean? Just to make it worse. I'm sure he takes his personal phone and plugs it into the DOD directly so that Russia and China and Iran and everybody else can just hack our shit.
I was going to say about the Houthis, they are pretty well stocked, and that's because they're funded by Iran. And they've taken over vast swathes of Yemen. The country's in the depths of a civil war that's been going on for years now. But again, like with many of these situations, it's not really the Yemeni people who are benefiting from all this, what's going on. It's the Iranians who are backing them, or not like the Iranian, not Iran as a country, but the certain parts of Iran. In the same way that the pirates, the Somali pirates, a lot of them were working for Russian mobsters, and they didn't see fuck all of that money. It was the Russians who did all the negotiating between the pirates and the shipping companies. And don't forget, there's two types of pirates basically operating in the world today. You've got your Malacca Straits pirates who will come onto your ship and have a look at what you got in your containers at gunpoint and take what they want. And then you've got your Somalian pirate style, which is slightly different, where they will kidnap you. They'll kidnap the boat. What's it called? What's it called when you take over someone else's boat? They'll take over you, but not a mutiny. Board your vessel.
Commandeer.
They will commandeer. That's the word. Thank you. They'll commandeer your vessel, and then they'll sail it off to some port in Somalia, and they'll keep the officers and the crew alive until the insurance company pays out the ransom. And the negotiations for that was a lot of the time it was being done by Russian gangsters, and they took the biggest chunk of the money. Those Somalian fishermen who were out there, committing these acts because there was no more fish in the water, because the Chinese trawler vessels had come along years earlier and taken all the fucking fish, because there was no Coast Guard, there was no Navy, there was no one to stop them. The international community didn't say, hey, China, what are you doing? You can't take all the fish. What about the knock-on consequences of forcing people into a life of piracy? So these lads ended up with their AK-47s going out in the little boats, basically risking their lives. People died. And they ended up making even less money than they would have made if there was still fucking fish in the water. Because it all went off to someone else.
If only someone had stood up for them in the moment, we wouldn't be at the destination that we arrived at. But
it's almost as though we shouldn't let countries fail. And if they are failing, give them the support that they need to not fail.
Imagine if instead of going to Iraq and Afghanistan, America went to war with MS-13 to help the Mexican government, who was getting its ass whooped because it was so corrupt. And it was so like the cartel had such a stranglehold that the government feared the cartel, and that's why they went but that part of the discussion is never had.
No,
it's always why are they coming here? Why are they coming here? And just like the migrant wave was coming. Well, who destabilized those countries in Central in Latin America? Who decided to start sticking their thumbs on scales and purchasing lots of things from certain people and completely ruining their country? Supporting people who ultimately turn into some of the most brutal dictators in the Western Hemisphere, just in time for those people fleeing that chaotic system to be told that you're the problem with everything that's been going over here in the literal party capital of the earth. Like, all of the great things have been happening over here, but it's been bad for 6 weeks, and that's your fault for coming up here. You did this.
We're no longer the richest country in the world, or the most powerful. It's all your fault.
We're victims of Venezuela, is what I'm to be told.
Do you think there's any chance that there was a time when people got together, these rich, powerful elites, these oligarchs, and said, do you know what we should do? We should destabilize these developing nations, and then when it causes refugees to leave, because they fear for their lives and their families' lives, we can make them the scapegoats for everything and ride that gravy train into power for the rest of our days. That conversation must have happened because we've just had it and we're not even fash.
But I think they don't. That's kind of like their modus operandi. Like that's how they operate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's always, what can I get for the cheapest, or what can I get for the least amount of work?
Yeah.
And we needed money to go to Kuwait. Like we needed cash. So we had to sell we had to push some bricks. We had to sell some dope. And then what do we do with all the dope we bought? We dropped it off in the hood.
Yeah.
Got people addicted to shit. Ruined it. It's a twofer. It's a twofer. And we got to keep the war complex going.
B32 Travel, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. More tariffs to pay for lost aircraft. Thank you. And Tim Ballerman is in there as well with the £5 super chat. Website listing pro MAGA businesses, especially epically backfires as critics use it for boycotts instead.
Damn, knew I should have made a list. Brenna Duncan says, the way Jesus would have wanted. Yes. And she also blames Reagan. It is all Reagan's fault.
It is Reagan's fault.
He was the original mouthpiece of the disgusting underbelly of the conservatives.
Yeah. And the only president to ever take second billing on a film to a chimp. So that happened. Who was saying in the chat that Mr. Tusk 27, fact wasps exist means they serve a purpose? No, it doesn't. It just means they found a niche. They found a niche that no one else can. Doesn't mean they have to do, doesn't it?
He's talking about white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Yeah, they must serve some purpose, Mikey. We don't know what that is, but they must.
I was like, damn, he's shitting on the Catholics right now.
But or
the Presbyterians.
One of the reasons why we can't get rid of mosquitoes entirely is because they do actually do a lot of pollination. So just wiping them out doesn't work necessarily in certain places. But we had a good go. And in a lot of places, say in Southern Europe, for instance, we wiped out the malaria-carrying mosquito with like DEET, and we used DDT and stuff like that. And then once it was all wiped out of the European countries, we said, okay, this should be done everywhere, you know? Like we got rid of smallpox everywhere, right, through vaccination. And so somewhere like Sri Lanka, they managed to get rid of like 99% of the mosquitoes, right? And then they cut the funding for it. They went, oh, what's the point? Why are we stopping these mosquitoes in these countries that we don't care about? And so the 1% of the mosquito population that survived, the cull, were the double hard bastards that were kind of immune to some of these chemicals, to some of these pesticides. And so they're even harder to get rid of now because the interference...
It was the Suicide Squad. It was all like the bad guy rejects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all the badasses.
The failed.
It's the only generation left to breed, yeah.
The failed companions and stuff like that. The sidekicks that didn't really work out, and they're just all out for revenge.
But that's like the law of unforeseen consequences. But what's happening in the US at the moment, just to bring it back around to this, this is what I want to talk about. 100 days that Trump's been in office now. And someone said earlier in the chat, I'm sorry, I missed whose name it was. I should have written it down. It said, even if Trump stops the tariffs today, even if he says, that's it, we're not going to do any more tariffs, then the ripple effects are still going to take place,
We're still fucked. Yeah, it's too late. It's the switch has been pulled. And now it's just a matter of how much of the dam is about to collapse. Not if, how much. Yeah. Like that's what everyone's trying to quantify is how much.
Jesus.
Because again, he doesn't like if there was a reason for the tariffs, then people could devise adequate schemes to accomplish the goal. Yeah. He doesn't have a goal. That's the problem. Like if the goal was X billion dollars turnaround and $2 billion and 50 million because you're a small country. If that was the goal, you would have to say all of that ahead of time. All of that would need to be talked about ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then you flip the switch. He has flipped the switch and now is chaotically, in between golf rounds, he is chaotically trying to figure out all of the USMCA took 2 years. and these are our neighbors.
Yeah.
He has 200 people to talk to.
Yeah.
It's too late. He fucked it up. Like, he did it. It's done.
And do you think
it's done?
I mean, there is a way back from this. Obviously, it's just going to take a really long time, isn't it? That's the main thing. Like, how long is this going to take?
if 15,000 businesses go under in the meantime, now what? You know what I mean? Like, it's already, like, he's fucked it. Unless, like I said, it has to go a complete 180, and then he's going to have to he's going to have to bail out all of these small businesses. Everybody who depends on China for imports for their American-made products. Either you're going to have to bail out all these people, like turn around 180 and get your bailout money ready, or it's over. Like that, he has devastated the economy intentionally. Like, this is a non-functioning.
He was told to by his mate Putin, wasn't he?
Well, this has been his thing since the 80s. The tariffs thing has been his thing since the 80s. They're using his dumb idea that he's been holding on to as the cudgel, as the detonator, because this doesn't even make Americans, like, this doesn't even get towards our debt. Like, how does this bring us closer to debt freedom? It doesn't.
It makes you more.
It literally. It doesn't. It doesn't bring in any more money. Yeah. And whatever 100 or 200 billion that he's talking about, that a couple of different countries are going to, like, invest in America, they're not going to do it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why would they invest now? Because you got tariffs on everything else. So, like, he doesn't know what he's doing. The implementation has been batshit. Everyone's I mean, look at it's going so poorly. Gold is going down. No, gold is skyrocketing. Gold has never been this high. U.S. bonds are being sold off.
Yeah.
People are divesting.
What a time to be alive.
And he won't, and he doesn't have it in him to admit he was wrong.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
To admit it was stupid, that it was careless.
Yeah.
And he didn't, and to admit, I don't know what tariffs are. And actually, I want to resend all this stuff, and I'm going to read a book today.
He's still saying he won the 2020 election, Mikey. He's still saying it now. There's no point in it. There's a super long read in the Atlantic that came out today. It's well worth having a look at. And he still, after all this time, after winning in 2024, he still won't accept that he lost in 2020. Because he can't. He is a narcissist. He's a psychopath. He's a sociopath. He cannot envisage a world in which he is ever wrong. This is what he was taught to do by Ray Cohen. He said, keep lying, always lie, and never, ever, ever back down no matter what. Never admit culpability, never admit that you're human.
He lied about talking to Xi.
The moment he does, this is the moment that, it's like in The Man Who Would Be King. It's the moment they see that he starts to bleed, and they're like, "Oh, how can a god bleed?" And that's it. Chop his head off, throw him off a cliff.
He just got caught over the weekend saying, like, they're like, "Oh, have you been talking to China?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been talking to him. Yeah, I talked to him. Talked to him this morning." China comes out and says, "No, we didn't." Hey, China's saying you're full of shit. Well, we had some talks multiple different times, and all. And everyone just kind of goes,
But he can't stop lying.
That part.
And he can't say that
he's out of real estate.
Yeah.
If a baseball analogy, pop fly, and the guy's running, I got it, and he's running and running. When you start to feel that gravel and not grass, that means you let that mother go. He is 5 or 6 deep steps into the gravel, and the wall is coming. The wall is coming. That is called a warning track for a reason. And he is sprinting through the warning track. And that wall ain't going nowhere.
But do you think, we're going to wrap up in a moment, but thank you very much to Tim Ballon for the £5 super chat. There's only a few ships from China still on the way. Shortages will start to hit within the next 45 days. It'll be interesting talking to you over the next few weeks about, the situation on the ground. But yeah, do you think that there's any chance of stopping this lunacy? We just talked about, this is his first 100 days. He's still got 1,400 fucking days left. Like, there's still a long time to go. Is there any way of getting him out earlier that you see would actually realistically happen? Or do you think we're just stuck with the motherfucker?
The Republicans are shitting bricks right now because they are now weighing, do we fear Elon's money, which is not as numerous as it used to be? And he don't have $1 billion. At this point, he don't have $1 billion for each of us.
He doesn't.
He ain't got the cash no more. And honestly, him being attached to anybody trying to primary me makes them look bad. So
you think that's going to be it? They're going to.
I think if the prices and the shortages are if they're noticeable countrywide, like not just like a couple of cities kind of start running out of a couple of things, but if it's if it hits nationwide as opposed to like certain select cities, yeah, I think he's cooked.
But when you say he's cooked, do you think that they're going to get rid of him, or do you think they're going to neuter him? Because I think it's much more likely they'll just neuter him and just.
If they're going to take his tariffs away, they might as well get rid of him. Because he's not going to listen.
JD Vance in charge, which should arguably be.
And you don't think they're going to do the same thing to him?
God, what if he has Marjorie Taylor Greene as his Veep?
Yeah. I don't think she can run.
I hate her so much. She's like the worst of all possible worlds, just rolled into one. Person.
You have no idea how many Marjorie Taylor Greenes I've worked with.
Mike Higgins.
That same exact attitude and real nasty and the whole time. Yeah.
Mike Higgins in the chat is saying Trump says he has over 200 trade deals done. How many countries are there? There's 193 members of the United Nations, but then there's a lot of trade blocs that can only do a trade deal as a bloc, like the EU. For instance, the EU, you can't do an individual trade deal. It was one of the things that the Brexit shitters told us would be great. We'll get our own trade deals. So the 193 members of the UN. Then there's places like Vatican City and Palestine that have special observer status. Then you have places like Kosovo and Taiwan, which have a lot of countries regard them as countries. You've got places like Western
Hong Kong
Sahara,
is separate too.
Somaliland. There's a lot of breakaway republics around the world.
Is Hong Kong part of China now?
Yeah, but it's a special administrative region, an SAR, same as Macau over the bridge. So they're counted as territories. They've got their own flag, and I don't know if Hong Kong can do its own deals separate to the rest of China, but I wouldn't imagine so. Things are set up differently in Hong Kong anyway. For instance, and in Macau, you're allowed to gamble. So in the mainland China, gambling is not legal, generally speaking. So if you want to gamble, you go to Macau and then you can gamble as much as you want.
No, I don't gamble. See, what I do is I win these tokens here, you see.
Yeah.
And then across the street, they buy these tokens.
It's not gambling. We're just playing a game.
They like to collect these, you see. And then I trade them in for cash.
But
sweet one.
I mean, there's going to be a kickoff in California, isn't there, with Gavin Newsom, the governor over there, because he's saying that he's not going to put these tariffs on. And
I mean, hey, take him to court, Trump.
Can he make his own trade deals? I don't know.
Because at this point he hasn't proved the legitimacy. At this point, he hasn't proved the legitimacy of his tariffs.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. Is you actually can't do that.
Oh, okay. Ollerman's in the chat. All right, Ollie. Elbows up, Canada. How you doing, mate?
I sent him a message.
Have you voted? Well, if Ollie wants to join me, Ollie, I'm going to be doing a show a bit later on as the Canadian election results come in. If you would like to join us on that show, you are very welcome to do so. I don't know if Mikey's going to be here. You're going to be off doing your own thing, aren't you?
No, I'm making friends. I'm making Canadian friends.
You should. That is a really good tactic, right? So if you need to get out, you can go and stay at theirs.
And in case they attack us, they will be empathetic towards us once they understand us.
Yeah.
Once we're people to them. And I got a super chat as well. Air horns. £10,
Woo!
£5 SCOTUS could order the U.S. Marshals Service to enter the White House and detain Trump for contempt of SCOTUS. Any chance, Mikey? Yes, that's the thing. Judges are very weird here. Like the whole thing with the judge up in Wisconsin, that the reason why that's so bad is she can put anybody anywhere she wants to in that courthouse.
Yeah.
She is the DM. She is the dungeon master. She is God. If she says all the chairs go on the ceiling, you better do it or you're going to sit in jail until the chairs go on the ceiling. Like that is how much power a judge has in a courtroom. So if she's trying to control her docket and these motherfuckers are snooping around and staying around and blocking up hallways, waiting on people, no, I'm going to complete my docket and then you can figure out to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Like they completely overstepped. And then I'll bet they'll just throw Kash Patel under the bus when the Supreme Court rules against them. And then Kash Patel will be back on the podcast circuit. Like, I can't believe I was set up by the deep state and it'll be all, they made me do this. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when we're in this gray zone, bullies always assume that they're going to be on the top side of the coin. Like they always assume however this turns out, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, and he don't know either. If I don't know, I know he don't know.
I was going to say about the 200 trade deals. I mean, even if that was true, like it's not, because it takes a long time to do trade deals. You don't just do them overnight, and you certainly don't do them at 200 places. You don't want 200 trade deals. You want really
how do you manage
few
that?
High quality trade deals with your major trading partners. There's literally no point whatsoever paying a committee of people to fly over to the fucking Solomon Islands. No diss to the Solomon Islands, it's a lovely place. But there's no point in sending people over there to do a trade deal with them for which you're going to make about 50 grand back on tax, maybe, for stuff that will come into the country and it'll be sold in this country. It'll cost you more than that to send the fucking trade delegation over there. It's just not worth it. So this is the issue that we had with Brexit, when people would say to me, it's fine, Graham, we'll be free to trade with the rest of the world. And I was sitting there going, but the rest of the world's got fuck all. It's like, okay, get a trade deal with America. Like, they're not going to screw us when another president comes in, 5 minutes later. Or a president like yours at the moment who screwed over the last time he was in, because he did a US-Mexico Canada trade deal and then he welched on it. He said, oh, no, that wasn't true.
He said, who the hell wrote this? You stupid.
This stupid idiot who came up with this policy. Who came up with this treaty? It was you. It was you, dickhead.
It was the worst deal I've ever seen. It's like, oh.
But
that's what we were saying too, but I mean,
what they rely on is people just not knowing the geography, having this vague idea that there's countries out there and there's people doing stuff in those countries. But a lot of our knowledge of the world is kind of warped by the media we consume and the way that we are.
It's hard to decentralize your own region. Yes. It's hard, you know what I mean? Because when you think your state or your city or your country even first, and that's like the first wave of getting your information is that.
Yeah.
That is normal.
Yeah.
If you move that a little bit further away, like if you intake everybody else's news first and then take yours, it hits different.
What would you say was different for a British person going to America? What do you think is the one thing that blows our fucking minds that we're not expecting? Ooh, school buses. I was going to say kettles. There's no kettles in America. It's just not a thing.
We don't drink tea.
Also, you don't have the voltage. It would take half an hour to boil a kettle in America. And then
you always go so far. Like, I have a kettle, and you know what? I also have a stove.
Kettle?
I could use the microwave, which is what it was freaking invented for.
It was not invented for making tea.
Yes, it was to boil water.
Well, yes, it rubs.
What you do with the water is your own business. This is America. You can do whatever you want with your friction water. Keep it. Do what you will. Put a tea bag in there, you little freak. You dirty little freak.
Ollie's saying, sure, Graham, I'd love to come on your show later. Brilliant. Okay, Ollie, I'll send you the link later and we'll have a chat as the results come in. Do you call it bin juice? What? Bin juice. Oh,
yes. Dude, imagine if we made like our own special liqueur and it's like that
called bin juice.
Green. It's like an army green. But you know how you can put that shimmer? Hold on. You know you can put that like that shimmer in drinks now?
Yeah.
A purple shimmer. A purple
and it comes
gold
out of
shimmer.
The corner of a black plastic bag. It's squeezed into the glass. There you go.
That's the only way. That's the only way you can serve it is to squelch it. Squelch it through a used latex glove.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Trump's boasts about 200 trade deals.
It's not going to happen.
Bullshit.
Because if anything, he should have got the China one worked out first.
But you don't want that many, and you don't want them happening that fast. Like if he did a trade deal with China in a week, oh fuck off. America. Dude,
if he writes it up with China in a week, China's gonna be like, got him. There ain't no way they can decipher what China's up to in a week. And I don't think that all countries should have this adversarial trade thing. I'm so ready for us to just like evolve enough to like shift into Star Trek mode. Like, can we get to Star Trek mode yet? No.
Yes, please.
Maybe we need maybe we need a meteorite scare, something like that. I don't know. Something above the tower.
If only there was some kind of existential threat that was going to affect the lives of every single person on the planet. That's something that we could actually do something about.
Something that wasn't fake from the internet. Something that wasn't fake from the internet, though.
What, you're saying climate change is fake off the internet, Mikey? What?
That's what I'm saying, man. Tim Bell, £5 super chat. I gotta get used to that. Watch the technology connections on Kettles, Graham and Mikey. I will do that. Yell at me.
Kettles. There's no kettles in America.
Kettles.
We think kettles are normal, but they're not.
Kettles.
Kettles. It was really hard getting a kettle in Panama because Panama's such a sort of quasi-American colony. And they're like, what's a kettle? What is it?
We can do it.
I had to go to the mainland and I had to trek through a jungle for days to find a kettle.
Oh, okay.
What?
Oh.
What? What's happened?
It looks like a cool channel.
It's someone making a kettle out of getting all the stuff together themselves to make a kettle. There's a guy who tried to do that.
Why don't Americans use electric kettles is the video. I think I found what he was talking about. And I will say
danger, low voltage. when we kiss. Okay, well, I'm going to have to leave it there because I do want to have maybe an hour's sleep before I stay up all night with the Canadian elections. So we're a few hours ahead of you, Ollie. So I'll be back. I'll be back in about an hour and a half here on the Politics Social channel. And
last thing from Brenna, she says, we know how to boil water over fire. So
yes,
we figured that out, guys.
You do that in a saucepan if you like, but it's not quite right. Thank you.
That's the best way to do ramen if you're making it at home.
Yes,
you're just doing a little bit. Just doing it in a saucepan.
Oh, you're saying don't use the microwave? Is that what you're saying?
Not for my ramen.
Do you have electric kettles over there? Oh, sorry, electric kettles. Do you have electric ovens over there, or is it all gas?
We have both.
Oh, fair enough. So you must have.
I have gas.
You must have.
I prefer gas
coming into your house for the electric oven.
Yeah,
I prefer gas.
We just don't have that for our. We don't just have all that.
I like gas for the hot plates. I like the fact you can just turn it off and then it's cold. Well, not cold, but it's not heating your food up anymore.
Oh, you mean the convection?
Yeah. I like gas for that, but then for an oven, electric's way better for an oven.
I don't do any baking though.
We should.
No.
Get bacon, Mikey.
I eat a little protein and then veggies. We do tons of veggies.
Oh.
And then like pasta.
My lovely lady is a bit of a baker. She likes baking stuff, so she's always in the kitchen.
I don't do lasagnas.
Whipping stuff up, whipping up a fuss.
If I maybe I'll make a lasagna and use the oven.
I had lasagna for dinner tonight.
Yes.
I got my own special lasagna because the girls don't like cheese on top of their lasagna. I'm like, how can you not want cheese on top of your lasagna? What's wrong with you people? So I have my own.
What is going on with this planet?
I don't know.
How did we get in this timeline where people are out there
not
wanting lasagna
cheese
without cheese?
Anyway. NF is saying they have 240 for ovens and washer dryers. There you go. Why don't you just have 240 for everything then? Make life easier.
Because we don't need it. That's dangerous.
No, it's not. Not with our British plugs. We have very good plugs in this country.
Yeah, I probably got a lot of house fires too.
Plugs, you see? No, we don't have any house fires because these things don't come out. These things are like a safety plug, and they've got a fuse in, which is confusing. Right,
Just Mikey, put the fuse in the breaker box like everybody else.
Yeah, there's a fuse in the breaker box, and there's also a fuse in the plug as well. This is double safe.
How many kids did y'all zap before you figured out all these safety precautions?
We've had these plugs since the 1950s, my friend. It's standard.
That is not an answer to the question.
And it's got two little flaps, right? And the top bit there, I can't really see very well on this because of the lights. That bit there pushes in. That's just plastic. And that pushes down the flaps to allow there. And you see there's a little bit of plastic around the bottom of these pins here. And that stops anything getting underneath there, a fork or something. American plugs are dangerous as fuck. I know this because I lived in Panama for 3 years, and it's all American plugs. And they fall out. You plug your phone in, and you leave it there overnight. You wake up in the morning, 2%. What the hell? Why is my phone on 2%? Because it wasn't quite plugged into the wall. It's just sort of hanging out. We don't have the hanging out thing here.
This sounds like user error. I felt like this sounds like user error, and you're just blaming it on us.
British plugs, best designed plugs in the world.
You were listening to your haunted doll podcast to fall asleep, and you bumped it, and it was barely plugged in, and you want to blame America because you just had to know about the next haunted doll that was going to come out.
This haunted doll podcast. I need to start listening to that. Anyway, Mikey, I've got to go. I've got to get like at least 30 minutes sleep ready for tonight. Or maybe I'll just make another coffee. I'm totally doing it. People have paid. People have paid me. They've paid me, and now Monkey's got to dance. Monkey has got to dance, okay? And Ollie said he's going to come on as well, So let's do it. Let's do this mad thing. Let's stay up dead late on a Monday night. I don't have school in the morning. I'm a fully grown man.
I'm gonna go eat breakfast and lunch and start dinner for the girls. Take a shower, and I will join you on yours. And I'm gonna go hang out with the people over at Debate Hub. And I'm gonna be
buzz around.
Zinging and bopping.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Bipping and zipping.
I'll give you the link so you can jump on if you want. Okay?
Sounds good.
So look out for that. From midnight tonight, we'll be doing a live stream for the Canadian election. So if you want to join us for that throughout the night, you are so welcome to do so. And in the meantime, if you're just leaving us, hit the like button. Like. And I just want to say a huge thank you for watching. A huge thank you to everyone who contributed to the chat, except for the trolls. A huge thank you to everyone who dropped a super chat in, which B32 Travel has just dropped another £5 in. Thank you for being very, very, very generous this evening. Little help for coffee. I'm off to bed now. Enjoy the coat. Okay, thanks very much. Thanks so much for the chat. And thanks to everyone who's contributed to Super Chat tonight. And I'll just say, if I don't see you tonight, I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 9 o'clock for Morning Brew. And until then, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye.